Tonight we're looking at the Cape Breton Sledgehammers sledge hockey team, and I'm joined now by Kurtis and Steve Deveaux, who are both involved with the team. And I'll start with you, Kurtis. How did the Sledgehammers Club come to be?
Probably somewhere around 2006, 2007, I found out that there was a sledge hockey team in Halifax. It was actually being run by somebody that I knew fairly well through the Spina Bifida Association. I have spina bifida, kind of knew the association, and I knew the people that were running the program up there, and I said to my parents, we should get this started here. It took a while before we were able to get in contact with the right people to bring a demo down here. We were told on a Tuesday or Wednesday that they were coming down Saturday with 10 sledges and 10 wheelchairs for wheelchair basketball. As soon as I got on the ice, I fell in love with it. We were on for the hour. As soon as I came off the ice, I said, we've got to get this started here permanently. We ordered 10 sledges the next day, and we started probably about a month or so after that first demo.
Steve, tell us about your role in the club and how you get involved in sledge hockey.
Kurtis, my son. So when we did the demo, my wife, she's the minister of ideas. I'm minister of making things happen. She said, we're getting sledges, figure out the ice, and let's get this thing started. So I've been the treasurer, the coach, whatever has to be done, maintenance person since day one. And I still coach, and when they're short, I actually play, but not very well.
Kurtis, in your time being involved with the Sledgehammers, just how impressed are you with the athleticism that goes into sledge hockey?
It's hard to believe just how wide-ranging our backgrounds are, actually. We have some people that are very athletic, that have grown up playing sports all their lives, are looking for a different challenge. We have some people who have never done anything athletic. A lot of people have disabilities like myself. Not everyone does. Just such a wide-ranging group. You do not have to be athletic to play this sport. As long as you're coming out there every day with a smile on your face and having fun, that's what we really care about the most. It's not an easy sport, I'll give it that, but basically anyone can play it to some degree.
Steve, for somebody who hadn't seen sledge hockey before, how would you describe it?
Just a different version of hockey. And when the sport gets going and when you play a game, you realize that you're in a hockey game. The biggest variation is your skate blades are actually under the bucket that you sit in. You have two sticks. So the picks are on the end of the sticks. So you propel the bucket around the ice. The sledge itself is very adjustable. So we can have very tall people in the sledge. We can have very short people. We change a bucket out on the sledge. But basically, we can handle any size person, any disability. And the cool thing about it is we have men, women, athletes with a disability, able-bodied players, young, old. We're all on the ice at the same time. That's our team. That's the makeup. And that's the makeup of most teams in our league.
How important is it to have able-bodied people involved? I guess the big thing is it helps with the numbers.
We're a small island. You think about the number of people here and the number of people with disabilities here. Coming from a small area, we don't have that many people with disabilities to pick from. If we didn't have the able-bodied players, I can flat out say that our team would not exist.
Steve, from your experience, if somebody makes a transition from the hockey that we'd be used to seeing, what are some of the bigger challenges they face in sledge hockey?
I played hockey my whole life, and when I sat in that sledge, I fell in love with it. I had no idea how difficult it is. You've got to have an extremely strong core to start with. As you get better, in order to gain maneuverability, we can adjust our sledges to a point where we're probably about a half an inch apart, the two blades. You're going on a very thin area. There's still two blades under you. But if you don't have a strong core, it becomes very difficult. An upper body like you wouldn't believe. Like I said, I've played stand-up hockey. I'm not the greatest sledge hockey player, but I absolutely and utterly love it. The other thing is you have two sticks. You've got another stick in your hand, and it makes a huge difference when attacker's coming from one side. You can just slide the puck under your sledge, and you've kind of eluded them. When somebody sits in a sledge for the first time, we get them hooked. That's the key, is to get them to come out and try it once. They won't be disappointed.
Kurtis, what does the schedule look like for the Sledgehammers in the run of a year?
We practice Sunday mornings at 10:30. Right now, we're practicing at Sarah 200. We have, I'd say, close to 20 players. Not everybody makes it every week, and that's perfectly fine. We just practice and do some scrimmages with the people that do show up, and we make do with the numbers we have. Then there's 4 tournaments a year at the moment. There's 4 teams in the Maritimes. We have a team, there's one in Bridgewater, there's one in Fredericton, and one in PEI. All the teams make one trip to each city and play a tournament there one weekend, and then the rest of our season is basically just practicing amongst ourselves.
Steve, how does somebody get involved with the Cape Breton Sledgehammers if they're interested?
If they get in touch with me, anybody that comes for the first time, it takes a little bit to get them adjusted to the sledge for the first time, make sure that everything's the way it should be. We want to make sure that they show up with the appropriate gear. There's not a lot required to try it the first day. We just want to be sure that we give them the best experience possible. If we have a little bit of time, we make sure that they're in the right sledge, the right size. It's probably the easiest to get in touch with me or put it on our Sledgehammer website that you're interested. Kurtis monitors it, and we can make sure that we get them the sledge.
The Cape Breton Sledgehammers Sledge Hockey Team Facebook page as well, which is how I reached you, gentlemen, as well. Wish you all the best of luck with the rest of the season. Thank you for this, Steve and Kurtis.
Thank you, Patrick. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Pat.
That is Kurtis and Steve Deveaux. They are members of the Cape Breton Sledgehammers Sledge Hockey Team, and they play at Center 200 on Sunday mornings and also participate in tournaments against other teams in the Maritimes. You're listening to the intermission of Celtic Kubota, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.